guys, welcome back to my page. I am the Reflective Perspective Oracle. Today we're going to do a pick a card reading surrounding what it is you are currently co-creating with Spirit. We have 3 piles to choose from. Pile 1, this piece of Botswana Agate. Pile 2, this piece of Onyx. And pile 3, this piece of Snow Obsidian. So intuitively choose your pile, whatever you're drawn to. If you're drawn to more than one, that's cool. Timestamps are in the description box, so let's get started with pile number 1. All right, so if you chose pile number 1, this piece of Botswana Agate, let's see what ability you are co-creating with Spirit right now. Pile 1. What ability are you co-creating with Spirit right now? So I feel as though in the past, or maybe even recently, you have an issue, a slight issue, with being extremely true to those around you, the ones that you love especially, okay? So I'm being drawn to asking for a friend. Now this card talks about being able to say things, but like to the people you love or to your friends, but having a little bit of shame or like embarrassment when you do say it. So, you know, something like, I'm just going to say this, asking for a friend, that kind of energy, right? But you know, since the question here is, you know, what is the ability that you are co-creating with Spirit? I think it is the ability to go hair straight back or to go full steam ahead on what it is that you want to say within the relationships that you have built, especially the ones that you have loved the most, your family other than a blood family, the family you've built, you know what I mean? Because maybe in the past you had attachment to the outcome of what it is. Say, for example, you wanted to say something, but you were worried that if you said certain things or expressed certain feelings or ideas, that you would possibly lose this relationship because of what you really wanted to say and who you truly are. But I think that, you know, you're coming to the realization now, so this ability or this new version of you is being built. You're co-creating this with Spirit to fully step into your, you know, like hair straight back on these emotions. You're kind of like, look, if these people love me, they're going to love me for every version of I am. I'm going to release the attachment to the outcome of what might happen, knowing that the right people, places, and situations are going to stay in my life and the rest will fall away. And I think that you're kind of okay with that as of late. I pulled some Archangel Oracle cards just to help us clarify. And you got peace and you got comfort. So yes, peace of mind surrounding what it is you feel, what it is that you want to say, and peace knowing that, you know, all feelings are valid and you're not afraid to express yourself anymore, right? And then the comfort within that, the comfort within how it feels to share yourself, how it feels to share yourself fully and completely, and the comfort that you will have within these relationships that do fully embrace you for who you are and what it is that you feel. We have many cycles of death and, many cycles of death and rebirth, metaphorically speaking, of course, and we step into this metamorphosis, this butterfly. So I feel like this is the level, like this is what you're building right now with Spirit. And it's a great thing to be co-creating. So I hope that resonated for you, pile number 1. Moving on to pile number 2, if you chose this piece of black onyx, let's see what you are currently, or what ability are you currently co-creating with Spirit. Okay, pile number 2. I feel as though for you, pile 2, you are currently co-creating with Spirit the ability to love yourself more and to trust yourself more, okay? I feel like your intuition is on point right now and it's being honed. This is what you're kind of co-creating, this new understanding of the self, trusting yourself more, loving yourself more, okay? And really listening to what it is that you want and not deceiving yourself about certain people, places, and situations, okay? So I feel as though maybe in the past that you would stay in certain relationships with certain people, regardless of the fact that you could feel that they were no longer on the same level of perception as you. So you matured a bit or vice versa, what have you. And And you could feel this, but you would ignore that feeling, that inner knowing, the intuition, and you would deceive yourself and say, look, I'm just going to stay here because at least, you know, at least I have someone, at least I'm with them, or at least this could be a job, this could be a friendship, this could be anything, okay? So apply to your life. But I'm just going to stay here because if I don't stay, I'm not going to have anybody, right? And I think you are calling yourself out on this, right? This is a deception card, and this is a card about intuition and knowing it's time to move on from that, okay? And then, of course, we have romantic gesture, and that isn't just about romance. So again, if this reading for you is talking about your romantic situationships in your life, then apply to that. But if not, this card just talks about loving yourself and others in a big way. And we don't mean like, you know, buying massive gifts or things like that, but we're saying you can say I love you in many ways, right? You can show yourself love in a big way by just nurturing yourself, loving yourself, listening to yourself, not deceiving yourself, not doubting yourself anymore. Really, truly listening to the inner knowing and knowing that what it is you want is valid and that you don't have to kind of stay in certain situations out of fear of thinking that you'll be alone in the future, right? I feel like, you know, this is what you're co-creating with Spirit right now, this ability to nurture yourself more and to love yourself more. I pulled some Archangel Oracle cards just to clarify, okay? And for you, pile 2, we got 3 cards. So yeah, look at this. We've got nurture, absolutely. The ability to nurture oneself. The ability to listen to oneself, to not doubt oneself, to love oneself in a much deeper and profounder way. Then we've got sensitivity. Yes, understanding that you are sensitive to these intuitive hits, these knowings about yourself. You're a sensitive being, and that's okay. You're going to nurture yourself when you do feel sensitivity, and that it's okay to be someone who is aware of their emotions and their feelings and listens to them, does not push them down, shove them out of the, you know, picture. You listen to your body, you listen to yourself, you listen to your intuition. And yes, of course, compassion. So compassion for oneself, compassion for knowing what it is that you want and need, and listening to that and honoring it, right? Because as I've said to pile 1, you know, they're building a life for you right now is a card that speaks about many cycles of death and rebirth and being born back into this, you know, butterfly, this metamorphosis, this change. We have many cycles of this throughout our whole lives. And this is a cycle for you where I think that you're stepping into honoring your intuition, honoring yourself, not deceiving yourself anymore, not allowing yourself to stay in situations that are not at the same level as you, not at the same, you know, as if to say you're not in alignment with these things anymore, and you're recognizing that. So you're allowing yourself to step out of that by loving yourself more, nurturing yourself more, taking the time to really focus on what your intuition wants, what it is that you want, allowing yourself to be sensitive and compassionate to yourself and to the situations, and even forgiving yourself for the past, for staying in these situations, whether it be with, you know, anybody, work, romance, friends, what have you. You're just being more compassionate to yourself and just saying, look, I understand why this had to happen. I had to get to this level of understanding, this level of self-respect, and now you have this ability to know when enough is enough. So I hope that resonated for you, pile number 2. And finally, if you chose pile number 3, this piece of black snow obsidian, let's see what ability you are co-creating with Spirit right now. Pile number 3. What ability are you co-creating right now? Well, I feel like the ability that you are co-creating with Spirit right now is to be more in the present moment, okay? And to not judge yourself as much for the actions that you've taken, that you're putting a big stop to that. You're really recognizing that it's time, and you're really starting to just not worry about it as much anymore, okay? I feel like this is saying to me, you are starting to lean more into trusting the universe, trusting source, trusting spirit, trusting God, whatever label you want to put on it. It doesn't matter. You're just leaning in, okay? You're trusting yourself more. You're trusting your connection to spirit more. You're trusting that, you know, all these cycles of death and rebirth are leading you into this metamorphosis, this change into this beautiful new version of yourself, okay? I feel like for a long time you've been somebody who judges themselves quite harshly, or others, depending, like, you know, apply to your life, right? And that you've lived many years of your life either worrying about the past or constantly worrying about the future, because we have what room are you in, okay? So that talks about being more mindful, being more in the present moment, stepping into the observer position of staying here in this moment, not necessarily living in the past or the future, but just living here. Because, and then with, like, you know, having these two cards, it really talks about, like, maybe you were judging what you've done in your life in the past, and then you think to yourself, oh, that makes me who I am today, and then therefore, because I couldn't do it before, I won't be able to do it in the future, and it's got you all in your mind, right? But I think that this is the ability that you are co-creating with spirit right now, is the ability to stop that, to not worry about it anymore, to live more in the present moment, and to not judge where you've been, who you are, what you think you could become, and all this other stuff. You're just more living in a very mindful place from an observer position, right? Which is a great place to be living in, because it's causing so much less suffering in your life, right? Stuff like suffering that you self-imposed on yourself, right? Which is, oh, anyway. Archangel Oracle cards, I pulled some to help clarify or to just add to what we're saying here. So yeah, look at this. Overcoming difficulties. Absolutely. And I think that these were always self-imposed. And mostly in the mind. I'm being drawn to the, you know, like this kind of like spinning sort of spirally type of looking cloud. I feel like your thoughts spun a lot. Either to the past, the future, you judged yourself a lot, but this is talking about overcoming difficulties, overcoming that, overcoming those thoughts, you know, really pushing forward, being able to just, you know, not worry. Yeah, and then we just have victory, so victory over your thoughts, victory over your old patterning, the ability to let it go, to let this old way go. Right? And then, of course, we've got healthy lifestyle. Now, this could be talking about, you know, maybe in the past you had these patterns of, you know, oh, say, for example, you know, maybe you felt like you weren't in shape before, and so you're really worried and you're always judging yourself, and, you know, you're living in this kind of mindset. This is just one example of what this could be playing out in your life. But, you know, and then it's got you into this place where, look, I'm not going to worry about that anymore. I'm not going to think about the past. I'm not going to think about the future. I'm not going to judge myself for where I've been or what I'm doing. I'm just going to do what I can and not worry about it anymore. And this leads to a more, you know, healthy lifestyle, where you actually are paying attention to what it is you eat, what it is, like when you sleep, how much you sleep, how much water you drink. And this also refers to the thought patterns, right? Because a healthy lifestyle includes healthy thought patterns, really truly loving yourself and just honoring what it is that you can do, not pushing yourself too hard to the point where you're judging yourself and you're beating yourself up. I think this, for you, pile 3, this is very much a mental beating upon the self, and I think that you are done with that now. I think Spirit's saying you've lived that, that's over, and you recognize it's time to stop that. We're not going to worry about that anymore. We're not going to put our thoughts and our energy into beating ourselves up. We're just going to do what we can, and we're not going to worry about it. And we're going to be here in the present moment. And with that, you will overcome those difficulties. You'll have victory in it, and it'll lead you to a much healthier lifestyle, body, mind, and spirit. So I hope that resonated for you, pile number 3. Thank you guys so much for coming back to my page. I hope you enjoy these readings. I certainly enjoy giving them. If you're interested in our deck, please feel free to send me a direct message. I'd be more than happy to assist you with that. If you're interested in a private reading, I'm available for that as well. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.